Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Positively You podcast. I'm super excited to have you guys tune in again today. And yeah, so this week was actually kind of a tough one for me. I usually have this planned out so that I've got a bunch of episodes already recorded and ready to go so that I'm not stressed about it the next day. But I was having a little bit of just like a block coming where I didn't feel good about putting any episode up. Nothing was vibing, nothing was feeling good. And I was starting to get kind of stressed because it's like Monday afternoon and the new show goes live every Tuesday. So I was eating lunch today and it just kind of hit me what I wanted to talk about and needed to talk about. So this is coming, straight from my heart, and yeah, hopefully it's what you need to hear and someone out there needs it, right? So, I've wanted to talk about this topic for a little while, but I wanted it to be perfect and I wanted it to be super eloquent and say all of the things perfectly. And it just needs to be said now, and not be perfect. So I came up here, I plugged in my microphone, and I'm just kind of going for it. So what is it? Toxic positivity. Obviously, this account is all about striving to be the best and most positive version of you. If you get done listening to the intro, that's what it's all about, right? And when I was starting this and when I first started my Instagram and was talking all about self-improvement and positive affirmations and all of those kind of vibes, I had a friend reach out to me and we got talking about it a little bit, and she told me that my handle, while she loved everything that I was doing and saying, that my handle was a little bit triggering to her because of the word positive or positively, that ironically enough had some negative vibes attached to it for her. So instead of me feeling defensive and trying to explain that that wasn't my intention at all, I asked her to help me understand kind of where she was coming from, because the last thing on earth I want to do is be a dark spot for somebody. And so we had a really good conversation, and we talked about how sometimes the whole positive vibe trend can make you feel like you should never ever have a negative thought, and then if you do, you suck and you don't have control over your thoughts, and that everything negative in your life is your own fault because you just can't think it away. And then you fall into this cycle of shame and feeling like crap, and it's just not good. And so when I talk about being intentional and talk about wanting to show up as the best version of you and the most positive version of you, I don't mean that you should wake up every single day and put on your rose-colored glasses and that you should bury all of your negative emotions deep down and never deal with them. It's not about putting on a fake smile and pretending that life is all sunshine and roses. Life is not all sunshine and roses, and it's not healthy to live like it is. There is a huge difference between looking for the good and seeking out the good and then just pretending that the bad doesn't exist. It's there. And truthfully, negativity and discomfort and those uncomfortable things, they are needed and they are helpful. From an evolutionary standpoint, humans are wired to think negatively, right? Like way back when, we had to be aware of every single thing that could kill us or every possible scenario that was bad so that we could keep ourselves alive. And while we've evolved, we still have those like very raw human nature, kind of the way that our brain is wired, right? Okay, so I want to tell you about a documentary that I watched one time that I got completely sucked into, which, fun fact about me, I get sucked into documentaries all the time. And if not monitored, I could probably just turn on Netflix at any period of time and just go through like the whole documentary thing. But Gotta keep it in check. Anyway, I got watching a documentary about someone who had some kind of a medical condition where they did not feel physical pain. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be amazing? And then they showed this person and they were always injured, and bad injuries, like really bad broken bones, 3rd-degree burns, like really awful things, because they had no boundary. You would put your hand down on, a flaming stove and just keep it there. You wouldn't be like, oh, because you don't feel anything. And so without that negative discomfort and pain, you don't have a way to keep your body safe. It is the exact same thing with your mind. We need to have a full range of emotions in order to have a full human experience. Without a range of emotions, we don't have a compass. We wouldn't be able to feel empathy or compassion. We wouldn't be able to recognize social injustices. We wouldn't be able to give ourselves boundaries. Basically become a doormat for people and just accept everything as well. I'm just looking on the bright side. Positive living and striving for a good life is not about snapping your fingers and suddenly thinking happy. It is so much more than an affirmation or a mantra. And yes, those are useful tools and they have a time and a place. I use them daily and I encourage you to add them to your toolbox. But that's what they are. They're a tool. They're not a magic pill. They come after you've had a chance to sit and after you've had a chance to ask the right questions. When you're going through something hard or you've got some big emotions or you've got grief or you're just stressed or things just feel dark. Sometimes they just feel dark and there's no reason, right? And you just need to sit there sometimes and just sit in the suck. And it sucks, okay? And you curl up in the fetal position and you cry and you feel it and then you process it. You don't ignore it. You don't push it down. You don't pretend it doesn't exist and you don't just paste a smile on your face and walk out there like everything is good. The healthy thing is to allow yourself the space and the time to feel your feelings. Name them, own them, honor them. You have to give yourself a place for compassion and room for yourself to feel all the feelings. And then you get to make a choice about staying there or about moving on. And sometimes the amount of time that we're going to stay there is different. There might be times where we're able to pick right up, have a good cry, get out there and move on. And other times it's day in, day out, and we're still there. And that's where we need to have that validation. We need to have that hope. We need to have that grace and that compassion because there's no perfect amount of time needed to process and feel. You need to ask yourself the questions if you're ready to shelf this, if you're ready to move on. You might need to journal it. You might need to work through it. You might be weird like me and talk to yourself in the shower about it. Whatever is going to help you. Basically, what I'm getting at is that every day we want to show up. We want to look for the good. We want to strive for better. We want to keep improving ourselves. But it's not about pretending and it's not about faking it because that helps no one. You're gonna break at some point. You can't be your best self if you don't know yourself. If you've been showing up with a mask on 2020 or pretending or faking that a good attitude is everything, it's gonna come crashing down at some point. You don't begin to create your best life by burying the dark and burying the uncomfortable and pretending that it doesn't exist. You get there by learning, by adapting, by pivoting, by growing. Imagine a basketball player and she breaks her ankle. She's not going to pretend that it's not broken and just run back out on the court and keep playing and saying, I'm thinking happy thoughts. Like, that's insane, right? She's not going to also just walk away and retire from the game completely. She's going to find where the break is, how bad it is, figure out how she can fix it. If she needs a doctor, if she needs professional help, does she need rehab, surgery? And yeah, while she's going through all these things to fix it, she can totally be mad. You can sit there and be mad and be pissed that you're not in playing the game while you're working to make yourself better. It's not one or the other. So as you come here each week to get encouragement and to feel lifted up and to strive to be a better you, I want to remind you to give yourself grace. I want to remind you that you need to feel all the feelings in order to learn and in order to grow and in order to evolve. And in doing that, you're going to become the best and most positive version of you. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jessie, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.